Are you guys ready? Let's watch it.
When you hear the words pop music and the best boy band, who comes to mind?
Sabi ng mga international.
What if I told you that the most overlooked boy group in our generation might be these guys?
Guys, okay lang ba audio namin? Ay, ang bata pa nila tingnan dyan.
In the last 6 years,
Nilalaro
these
nila
guys
sarili
turned a small
nila.
Korean entertainment company into
Grabe,
a company
ganyan pa rin sila
that
kakulit
produced the
hanggang
biggest
ngayon.
P-pop group ever.
That's right!
SB19.
Sabi ng proud!
Proud!
And you don't accomplish
Let's not
that
give
without
up.
making a few enemies.
Grab.
Grabe
Iba pala
naman
sila.
yun. Siyempre pwede naman ma-inspire.
Grabe,
Some coming from
hater.
unexpected places.
Parang may ginaya rin.
But behind the
Ay,
group
may
are
mga
5
nagpo-post
driven
pala ng
men who
ganun
were
din.
about
Grabe,
to
from
transform
celebrities
what
yun,
was
ah.
once a laughing
Si
stock
Rans Verano,
genre in the
OPM.
music
OPM ano yung singer.
into the fastest growing
Sex bomb.
genre of the world.
Grabe!
Ever since we had this goal, and not just for us, but for the entire industry.
Feeling ko hindi
Totoo.
pa natin nakukuha yung recognition na dapat para sa atin.
Between
Actually,
disbanding
no.
before they even debuted,
All hope is lost. Parang nung time na yun.
becoming
that's the
industry
leader.
outcasts and getting bashed by
Totoo,
their
yan nga yung lagi
countrymen.
nilang sinasabi
ng grupo
sa makeup
na,
nila,
hindi
para
naman
naninibago
mataasan
sila.
ng tangos ng ilong. Para talagang
Grabe.
original.
Oo.
It's not nice.
The rise of SB19 may not
Ay, ang
be the
galing,
greatest
nagbabacklive pala
Filipino
sila, ah.
success story ever.
Maganda kasi yung revenge kasi talaga yung success na ipapakita mo sa mga
Ang lalim talaga ng boses nila.
Parang ang lalim ng
Certainly
hugot nila,
is
no? To
The
prove
most
something.
inspiring one.
Grabe no, ang dami na nilang fans.
Ang ganda ng pagka-edit, guys. Grabe.
Guys, kudos kay Cashual Chop. Ang ganda niya mag-edit.
Sound break. That's the meaning of SB. They break the sound. Wait guys. May ano pala. May casual chat. Cute. Ito yung
Sila yan?
kinukwento na yan sa Tony Talks na parang lahat ng mga Korean events na ibibigay sa kanila ng ano nila. Company nila, pupuntahan nila.
Ay, correct.
This is called Triple, a group of talented performers and comedians from Korea you've probably never heard of. They were formed back in 1994 when the word K-pop hasn't even been invented.
Ang interesting.
In 2002, one of the members made the biggest mistake of his life, which will change the entire course of P-pop history.
Sino siya?
That member was Jung Sung-han.
Sino siya?
Jung
It all
Sung-han.
started when he left the trio in 2002 to become an entrepreneur. Most of their fans thought
So, parang
that
ang kwento niya,
decision
para siyang si Yang
was a huge
Yeon-seok.
mistake because the remaining
Sabi
members
Sa
started
YG.
racking up different awards in the entertainment
So, mga siyang
industry.
sarili niyang
If he
ano.
only stuck around, he would have gotten
Apart siya
those
ng
awards
group.
too. But this man's decision
Umalis siya.
was final.
Tapos sumikat yung
He used all
dalawa.
of his savings to
Siya
build
ang
an
Zayn
event
Malik ng
organizing
group.
company called Show BT
BT.
Entertainment.
Ah.
Today we know him as Tatang Robin.
pumunta siya dito?
Sa Pilipinas siya.
Fight of the century just happened.
Aray,
One
sakit.
Direction's Drag Me Down was all over the radio, and Big Bang was the biggest K-pop boy group.
Oo, pinanood ko yung
P-pop
Tony
has
Talks
top
kasi
one
ano.
project.
Ako hindi pa
Chances are,
guys.
you have
Ako di
never
ka pa
heard of them.
napapanood.
Kasi may ligaw kay
But
Tony.
somewhere in Makati, Philippines, an audition was held. Tatang Robin was looking for young talents
so first
who would
group
be
niya
part
talaga
of the
yan na
package of their
ginawa?
service as an event organizers. Talents who can perform on their own. but
Grabe,
can also
sobrang
serve as backup dancers
ang saya
and
guys
singers
ng
to
K-pop
remain
community
performers.
nung ano, aminin
One of
nyo.
the main
Ngayon hindi na
attractions of
ganun
this
kasaya yung mga
audition was if
K-con,
you're good
K-pop
enough,
convention,
you
yung mga
might just
lookalikes.
debut as a member of Show BT's
Wala, ang saya lang.
first
Parang
ever
ano kami,
P-pop group
community
to
talaga.
undergo a Korean-style training. Filipinos don't get opportunities like that so often, so hundreds of talents applied,
Cute.
but only 30 made it as trainees.
Ay,
They
ayun
were
sila.
chosen the Show BT Musical Gala team, but then later dubbed as Nara, which in Korean means country and also happens to be the national tree.
Ay, ang galing nga. Tapos puno
If you're a
yung ano
fan
nila,
who's deep into the
imagery
P-pop
nila.
scene,
baka
you would
related
recognize some of the future P-pop stars, but one of
Si
the most
Yara,
notable
sa ano ba
ones
yan?
is this guy.
Pablo?
On the first day
nila.
of training, One guy stood out because he was just alone standing awkwardly in the corner.
Nung una, ang weird niya muna sa salita mag-isa.
He was facing the wall and making hand gestures as if he was rapping in front of it.
Nakatayo siya sa gilid. Biglang gaganon. Sabi ko, anong ginagawa na? Nagre-ritual ba ito sa gilid?
That
Ang
guy
unfiltered talaga nila, no?
NASA.
Ay, di pala
He
Pablo
also
yung
wanted to
name
be a
niya.
performer. As a young dreamer, he joined several competitions as a soloist and also as a member of the K-pop dance cover group called PHP.
May
In
group na siya
training,
before.
he was the guy who shows
Di
up
man yun yung
early
plastic
and
play,
leaves
no?
late despite juggling a full-time job as a data analyst to help
Ay!
his family.
Ang
He
galing
was
ang
selected due to
interesting
his
ah.
undeniable diligence and leadership qualities. He is known to have
In
critically
fairness, ang
acclaimed
bongga na edit,
songwriting
ah.
ability. Some of my sources even said that he had already written
Super totoo
dozens
sila.
of songs at this
Actually.
time. He's also a badass rapper and was often called a genius, but
Grabe,
consistently
ang dami niyang
ignored
kayang
because he
gawin. What
claimed
can't
to
you
be
do?
just a hard worker. This made him the destined leader of the group.
Kaya siya yung leader
Was
ng
known
group
as
nila.
Sejan at the time, but later would be known as Pablo.
Ay, ang galing.
30 trainees are a lot
So
of
parang
trainees.
not to
If you take
compare
a very
pero
observant
ang galing
person
kasi
with
yung
an eye for
BTS din
talent to
nag-revolve.
notice
Yung first
Pablo in
member
that
to be
corner.
a BTS
So
member
who
is
is that
Rapmon,
observant
which is
person
their
with an
leader.
eye for
So parang
talent?
ganun din yung story dito
Well,
SB19, which is very
he was
interesting dahil
also a
sobrang sikat
trainee.
nila.
Stel
They
Wester,
represent
the
the
Henrys.
Ang
He
kulitis
was
eh.
only a kid when he started competed as a performer. As a dancer, he racked up
As a
win
masayaw
after
din siya.
win on a national level with his school crew
Ayun siya,
and became their
Ay, oo
official
nga, no.
choreographer, teaching crewmates 2 to 3
Ang galing
years
naman ni
older
Esther,
than
kung
him.
siya yung
He
antaas ng
later
boses
joined
niya,
a
tas
dance group
dancing
ang
pala
galing
talaga
niya.
yung background niya.
went
no?
on to win international titles. Stel obviously worked so hard. Amidst his studies and competitions,
Sabi ng
he
BTS.
also worked part-time as a McDonald's service crew and
Grabe,
teaching
ang
dance to kids
sipag.
with special
Yes,
needs.
lagi
There was a
pinagkakong
point that he worked too
first
hard that
story
he
nila
wound
kasi
up
si-
in the
Diba?
hospital.
Ang galing
His
ah.
poor health cost him
Sejan
to
kasi
lose his
dyan ang
earnings
niya.
and nearly his life. Fortunately, he was able to recover. This made him the obvious choice to become the choreographer of the group. But little did they know that dancing wasn't his only talent. As a kid,
Ayun!
he joined the school choir to
Ang
become the
cute.
only male soprano and only improved as he
Ay,
got
in fairness,
older.
ang taas
He
pa rin ng
easily
boses
became the
niya.
main heavenly voice of the group because his vocals were just
Grabe!
Grabe, ang galing maglaro ng
out of this
boses.
world.
Ang taas ng boses niya ha.
Unlike Pablo, Stel was very friendly to everyone. In fact, one of his closest friends also auditioned and made it as a trainee.
Friend niya na before.
This friend is nothing to be trifled with because having the worst upbringing among the others made him the strongest when it comes down to pure guts and
si
determination.
Si Josh.
Josh Cullen
Asa
Santos.
friends sila
Pogi
before.
talaga. Before pa. Ang cute!
He left
BTS na
home
blood,
at the
sweat,
age of 16
tears.
and it was his decision.
Ang galing no,
Growing
parang
up in a
anyone
toxic
can be a
environment
star talaga.
to being physically
Nasa ko lang din yung
abused as a
dati.
kid by their
Hard work
nanny.
talaga, no?
I'm talking about getting poured candle wax all over their body. At an early age, he experienced
Pogi.
what it felt like to be a member of a middle-class family that went rock bottom in just a matter of months. They get evicted from medium-sized apartments to increasingly smaller rooms. It came to a point when his family had nothing to eat with rice but ketchup and salt.
Paano nalalaman
They
to ni
had-
Cashual?
oh,
Siya, gabi naman siya
Because of
mag-research.
that, Josh and his sister dropped out of school multiple times, so they got bullied at school for being repeaters. Sometimes he would even get into fistfights for defending her. Josh had enough of this, so he decided to leave to become independent and started working as an internet cafe attendant. Using his own income, he took the alternative learning system to attain his high school degree.
Grabe yung backstory
He
guys.
initially had no background in performing. Not until he found Stel performing with his dance group called Sayon. Josh became an instant fan, and when they connected, Stel became his mentor, which led to them
Ay, ang
becoming
galing. So,
members, and they went
inintroduce
on
niya
to win numerous
group.
K-pop dance cover competitions all over Asia.
Ang
They even
galing!
met BTS during one of their winning runs in Korea.
Ay,
So
BTS.
from champions to trainees.
Na guys,
What else
na-meet
is
na ba
in
ng
store
BTS
for
yung SB19 ever? Or walang chance?
Ayun nga, kakamit lang.
Hindi pa sila SB19 noon. Sayon pa lang sila noon. Ayan na, nara na sila niyan.
Ayun yung mga first names nila.
Oo.
From then on, their lives became all about
Ano yun? Ba't ang
performing in
dami?
small events
Yung ano, di
And
ba,
training.
We had
so nagpa-audition yung
Oh.
show BT. Summarize ko sa'yo.
Oh,
Nagpa-audition yung show BT. Sabi niya, okay, for all the young Filipinos na gusto maging K-pop star, maging P-pop star, mag-audition kayo. And out of that, nakakuha sila ng 30 Filipinos. Tapos yung 30 Filipinos na yun,
ginawang group?
hindi, ano sila, parang magpe-perform, magte-theater, magpe-perform. Pero ano yun, tinetrain talaga sila.
Gets.
So 30, that's a group of 30. Ang tinawag sa kanila Nara.
Seon is a cover group nila noon. Oh.
Yun. Okay.
Okay.
one mentor.
From then on, their lives became
Sana
all
kayo
about
iba dyan?
performing in small events and training.
We had one mentor when we were training.
Korean
Tapos
yun,
more on personality development siya. Tapos presenting ourselves on stage.
We had no idea that the Korean style training they went through
It's far from what they've been doing sa
not
Korea.
Swansea.
was nothing but a
Ay!
mere marketing strategy.
But yung skill-wise, parang ganun. We were left on our own.
Ay, bakit ginagawa pa nila yung mannequin challenge?
And they were left alone to fend for themselves, sharing knowledge to improve each other with the hope of making the cut.
Siguro wala ring
Some
budget
sources
to
told me that Pablo had to record some of their vocal
push na
sessions
group,
to
no?
Hindi, to
effectively
really
coach his
hire a
trainees.
choreographer.
All of that without salary. This went on for roughly a couple of years, and I don't know about you guys,
passion
but
lang
this
talaga
for me
nagpo-push sa
sounded
kanila,
kind of
no?
brutal. It's not easy to keep doing the same thing
Tas
over
walang sahod.
and over and over again without any form of guidance. They were also kept in the dark about their debut date. So frustration started brewing until it reached the point when it only took one trigger to call it quits. On one seemingly normal training day, all trainees were already in the studio, except for Josh. On the same morning, the train broke down.
Nasira MRT
Ay,
during that time.
malas naman.
Nasira yung MRT.
Sinuspindi ang operasyon ng MRT.
Ay, naalala ko yan.
It wasn't really an accident, but this would still worry anyone, especially the trainees, because it's highly
2018
unusual
yun.
for Josh to miss training. Later that morning, Josh arrived. His co-trainees
Oh my
felt
gosh.
relieved because Josh turned out to be safe. You would think that their company would react the same way, right?
Kaso.
Wrong. They decided to terminate his training.
Nalate ako, tapos tinanggal ako.
That
Ang lala.
was the trigger.
Nung tinanggal po ako, nag-quit din yung mga grupo ko. Nag-quit din sila kasi parang naging trigger na point na kung tatanggalin mo si Josh,
Umalis kami sa grupo.
ganun mo lang kadali itapon yung lahat ng efforts and passion tsaka dreams namin.
Gawin
Show
natin yun sa
BT
work
had two
natin.
choices,
Sarap.
to keep all trainees or to keep no trainees. The company chose the latter.
Eh?
Everyone left except for Stel.
Parang si Stella lang yung naiwan po nun talaga sa training room. Tapos talagang down na down lahat.
Si Stel natira kasi doon during that time.
Stel set aside all
Stel
his
lang
frustration and remained focused on his goal, while Pablo was devastated.
All hope is lost parang nung time na yun.
In Josh's case, we can only
kaya
imagine
siya
the pain he
nag-stay, no?
must have felt to have been booted out of
Ay,
his
sabi
dreams.
na.
Pangarap niya talaga.
Days passed,
Sa bagay.
everyone still feeling down
Ang
about
pasay.
that incident. Then Pablo's phone receives a message.
Akala ko ang phone
Balik
ko.
ka na, brother.
It was Josh.
Sabi ng picture.
Out of
ang
all the
bagay.
trainees, the guy that got sent packing was the same guy who actively convinced everyone to continue chasing their dreams. Perhaps this was the sheer guts and determination from his life experiences in full display.
Kasi nga yung nangyari
Pablo
sa
hurried
kanya.
back to the
Tasha.
studio to find Stel. Alone. But not for long. Josh came back next and took the initiative to convince the company to have them back.
Pumunta lang po ako doon at syempre kung kinakailangan na makiusap.
So back to training, they went.
Hindi na lang magkahiwalay ng grupo, pero bumalik sila kasi
Hindi sila nag-ano, no?
hindi nila ako
Give up.
Ang galing.
There was only 3 of them for a while. Then
Wow,
a few
three,
other
no?
trainees started coming back. So Show BT put together a talent workshop to get more talents
so
to keep the
bumalik sila.
business going. This was batch 1.
Ay,
This
Diana.
was batch 2.
Sabi ng pick me.
Target locked.
Justin De Dios,
Wait, so yung
Cute.
show
Got
Cute.
scouted
BT,
right away because he was a very good
so yung show BT ano siya, parang nag-aano lang siya ng nag-hone lang siya ng talent, pero wala siyang objective na gumawa ng group.
I think,
Parang workshop
I,
lang
I
siya.
think may objective siya gumawa ng group. Pero nag-aano pa sila, parang wala silang, feeling ko wala silang, wala pa silang, tawag na to. Wala silang strategy.
Gets.
Parang-
naghanap lang talagang talent.
Oo, parang naghanap na sila ng talent and maybe we'll figure it out. Ganon.
Oh.
good-looking guy.
Cute ni
and already
Josh,
was a
cute
decent
ni
singer
Justin.
and
Yeah,
dancer.
right.
When he
Okay,
joined,
tama.
he immediately saw a familiar
Cute ni
face
Justin.
in Josh.
Bakit magkakilala sila?
Apparently, Josh told Justin about the workshop because the two already had a stint performing together in a dance cover group called Zero to Hero. So Justin as well was
Diba sabi ko sa'yo, ang tight-knit ng
He
K-pop
auditioned
Oo,
community
so
dati.
magkakakilala lang
televised
din sila.
Pinoy boy
Sumali
band
siya!
superstar, but he didn't even make it to the live auditions.
Saan siya?
Perhaps
live
fate.
auditions.
That group is nowhere to be
At
found
least.
today.
Totoo
Justin
din.
obviously
Corny.
deserved better. He went on
Corny
to
ng
finish
boyband
his
PH
college
pangalan,
degree in
wala maisip na
multimedia
pangalan,
arts
boyband
while
PH.
Hindi man lang
training,
nila
which
ginagawa.
earned him a filmmaking skill that could
Galing.
prove
Ay,
very
filmmaking
crucial
siya!
to his success
Multimedia.
in the future.
Multimedia.
Arts
Pares
graduate.
kami guys.
With
Pares
Justin
kami.
on board, this
Ang pogi ni
completed their
Justin.
prototype boy group.
Ang galing
meron-
no, kasi makikita mo rin talaga what each of them bring to the table. So far, 4 pa lang yung nakita natin. But, sige, mamaya ko na-explain paglabas ni ano. Ang cute! Bitay ng icon!
It's composed of Justin, Pablo,
Ah, ang
Stel,
dami nila
Josh,
before.
Zeno, Kurt, and JP. They did multiple
Sino
test
sila?
runs leading up to their entry
Sabi
to
ng
Pinoy
7 din
K-pop
sila.
Star 2016.
So ayun yung una
B-Day
nilang
by
group.
Icon
Oo.
in an epic fashion.
Ay, sabi,
Sino
nakakita
yan?
ng abs.
At this point, Show BT seemed to have hit a roadblock. The group felt like something was missing. I don't exactly know what happened to Zeno, Kurt, and JP.
Oo nga, no?
They
Saan
either
kaya sila
quit
ngayon?
or Show
2,
BT
4,
felt the
6,
need
7.
to let go of them and get someone
Ah,
who can take this
pinalit.
already great group of guys and
So sila
push
yung
them to
minentain
achieve
na
the
members?
next
Oo.
level. The extraordinary level. This year's in the making project of Show BT needed to reach its peak. So they started the online auditions.
Ah, nagpa-audition
When Josh
ulit
heard
sila.
about it, he was like, I know a guy.
So magkakakilala rin talaga sila.
Laro yung clip na ginamit kay ano. Kay
Akala ko
Josh.
The guy
tapos
he
na,
was
bitin na.
talking about was a pain in his butt because their groups have clashed multiple times in their early
Oh.
dance competitions and their battles were always
Laro naman yung ginagamit na clip kay Josh, yung
That
nakapababae
guy's
talaga
name
siya.
was Philip John Susor.
Philip pala talaga.
He was such a specimen.
Grabe, lakas baka
Pogi.
K-pop.
Naturally gifted that excelling in sports
Ay,
looked like a
nag-sport.
walk in the
Kaya pala
park
ang
for
hat
him.
niya. Ang hat
He
ng
grew
katawan.
up in the church under the care of his grandparents.
Ay, ang bait.
He was an artistic kid, so he was active as an editorial
Ay, cartoonish
cartoonist
siya,
in
oh.
school.
Ang
Ay,
artist
Nobody
naman
told him
nila.
how to play musical
Nagigitara din
instruments.
siya.
He taught himself by just listening to the music, so he
Ganda
ended up
talaga.
becoming a southpaw guitarist, but he later then fixed it as he learned
Ay,
more. He was
sabi nung
also a
nakahubad.
gifted
Ba't
singer
naman
as a
nakahubad?
kid. Every time there was a family gathering, he was always forced to sing karaoke by his relatives.
Siya yan?
But when he hit puberty,
Sabi!
he lost confidence in his
Oh. voice
voice because he could
Bakit?
no longer hit high notes. But
You
his
don't
confidence
need
came
to.
back after being
Sabi.
mentored
Ang baba
by
ng boses
Pablo,
niya.
who
Baba
taught
nga ng
him how
boses
to
niya.
harness his unique low voice that seemingly sounds like it came from the underworld.
Grabe!
When it comes to
Ano
dance,
kanta
he
yun?
didn't
Ang
know he
baba
could
ng
do
boses.
it until he was
Ganito.
forced to in order to get
She
good
can do it
grades
all.
during their school intramurals. After discovering dance,
Yun.
he transformed from a guy who didn't know it to someone who can fly.
Ay,
Because of his raw talent, he ended up
Ano nga
teaching
sayaw
dance
yan?
to the entire school and continued on to join the dance group called
Ay,
Amigo,
Grabe!
a would-be
Nagaganon-ganon pala
rival
siya.
of Josh and Stell's crew, Sayon. It quickly became a reverse if you can't beat them, then join them kind of deal. So Josh recruited Ken. But there
Yeah,
was a
open
problem. He was hundreds of islands away.
Ah,
and
ay,
didn't have
taga-ano nga
money.
pala siya, no?
What did Josh
Mindanao.
do? He shelled out for his plane ticket. With
Ay,
nothing
bait.
else to lose, Philip went and left his previous life in the countryside.
Galing.
He then trained with the boys and officially debuted with them as Ken, the main dancer, the bass vocalist, and the lead rapper of the group. One thing to note is that they were an
Galing.
unlikely bunch because they wouldn't have met each other if Tatang Robin stayed with his already successful group in Korea. Justin didn't make it in his first audition, so he
Boy
almost
band
didn't try again until Josh told him to do so. And Ken
Buti,
wouldn't even
ano,
have the
buti
opportunity to
Galing
join
ni
him the
Josh.
show BT
Oo.
trainees
Siya talaga na
didn't
gano'n.
come back after that
Parang
quitting.
may connection
his-
siya sa lahat.
And
Siya
that,
naghahanap
ladies
ng
and
talent.
gentlemen, is the butterfly effect. When a small and seemingly insignificant occurrence has a rippling effect through time, leading to a consequential event
Wrong timing
sometime
lang yun
long
in
after
life,
the
no?
initial event.
Like-
Would put it, the phenomenon whereby a minute localized change in a complex system can have large effects
butterfly effect.
elsewhere. Tatang Robin's so-called mistake back in 2002 led to forming the future P-pop Kings. In 2018, SB19 was formed. The name of the group was carefully
Hindi
picked.
namin alam yung
The number
basking.
19
Guys,
is the
promise,
sum of
sobrang
Korea
out
and
of-
the
Pakinggan mo,
Philippines.
pakinggan mo.
The group was carefully picked. The number 19 is the sum of Korea and the Philippines country code digits, 82 and 63.
Oh, paano
So
naging
8
19?
plus 2 plus 6
Ah.
plus 3 is 19. If you
Ganon.
subtract those numbers, you also get the same result.
Ay,
SB doesn't
ganon.
only mean show BT.
Ang galing,
It is
ah.
also about their ultimate goal for Pinoy sound to break into the music industry.
And they
which is
did!
Palamihin,
Ang
no?
galing!
praise.
Hoy, nakaka-proud kasi
Sound
nag-world tour
break.
na talaga sila ngayon ah. Guys, ang galing kasi
Ang ganda, ang ganda, ang ganda. Thoughts about sa sa...
ako I'm so amazed sa hard work nila kasi kung dun pa lang na parang inalis na kami dun sa show BT.
Oo.
Parang madi-discourage na agad ako. Pero hindi sila tumigil. Kaya nakaka-proud kasi what if, 'di ba? What if lang naman hindi sila nag-push na parang nag-give up sila ganyan. Eh di wala tayong maririnig ngayon na SB19.
Tsaka hindi rin, we gotta give credit to SB19 kasi walang alamat, guys, aminin na natin, walang alamat, hindi, pero may BGYO na kasi nag-starhan sila eh. So, ayun. So, parang mali yung sinabi ko. Hindi ganito kasikat ang P-pop siguro. Hindi ganito kausbong yung P-pop.
If not
So,
for them.
if not for them. Pero, ayun nga, ang galing din kasi it was in the same vein. Parang same time sila nung nag-star hunt yung Bini pala. Now that I remember it.
Ay, halos same ba sila?
Oo, kasi 2018 yung Star Hunt Academy. Tapos 2018,
Excuse me.
nauna lang yung SB guys, 'di ba?
Ay, may
Kasi 2018 sila talaga nag-release yung Tila Luha. Tapos 2019 yung Go Up. Ang galing ng SB19. Kasi parang how do I put it? Kasi I'm really amazed kasi parang coming into K-pop. Syempre lahat ba? Pero pinangarap ko din na maging P-pop idol.
maging P-pop star,
Syempre,
no?
oo, kahit hindi siya hindi, K-pop star ang naisip ko talaga kasi hindi ko naiisip na magkakaroon tayo ng ganito. Alam mo yun, na parang hindi ko naiisip na kayang gawin kung anong ginagawa sa Korea, kayang gawin dito sa Pilipinas. Pero